American diplomatic missions in Libya and Egypt have been attacked by angry mobs over a US-made film said to insult the Prophet Muhammad. The assault in the Libyan city of Benghazi left one US staff member killed and another injured.
Film, many demonstrators were seen scaling the walls to take down the American flag and replace it with a black flag bearing the inscription that means to protest. This is the first time ever that the U.S. Embassy in Egypt has been attacked.
Here today with us we have Father Jim Schwab from St. Walter's Church. Thank you, Father, for taking time out of your schedule to talk to us.
Sure, it's a pleasure.
First off, what are your thoughts about censorship in the media?
I think one of the things that's interesting, especially in regards to religion and in the church setting, when it comes to censorship in the media, I think what you got to look at is how does the media view the church, or even any church. And recently there was a survey that was put out about the church attendance of people, and it was 43% of Americans go to church, at one time or another, throughout the week. And I think it was the press was also given the same survey, and there was 8% that actually went to church. So I think a lot of times censorship comes from their not understanding maybe what the church is about or about the issues that affect the church. And so they might be censoring us only because they have a weird filter because they do not experience maybe what we experience. So I see a lot of censorship as really just not understanding the subject and then coming across with their own bias because they don't know what they're talking about half the time, So.
Interesting. Do you think censorship serves as a benefit by avoiding controversy and sheltering children?
What do you mean by sheltering children? Like the idea of not letting them see the world the way it really is, or
maybe possibly like nudity or swear words or controversial topics, maybe like homosexuality, even stuff like that.
So things that aren't on the media, in the media, because of those things. Yeah, I think sometimes we use that as our, excuse for why we don't do things in regards to censoring. There used to be a lot more standards for TV and stuff. But I think ultimately, the individual person is responsible for themselves, and in some cases, parents are responsible for what their children watch. And so, from that standpoint, if you know what they're watching, whether they see something you don't agree with or not, you can make it a moment that you can teach them. So, I don't know if I want to let the government or anyone else have total control over what should be or should not be censored, because I think parents are ultimately the ones that should do that for the children.
Do you think that hiding this material or language provokes children to just want to obtain it more rebellious manner instead of just talking about it openly and responsibly?
What was the first part? I didn't catch the first part of the question on that.
Do you think that hiding this material
Uh-huh.
do you think it just provokes children to try and obtain it in a more rebellious manner?
Well, I think in some cases, right. It's always that thing about whether something is permissive. If you allow it or don't allow it, will a person look for it? So I don't know for sure. I do know, once again, that if a person is responsible for themselves, they can make the choices. Children have to be kept from some things until they can make those choices themselves. So.
What ethics should censorship be based on? And should it be based on morals and ethics preached in the Bible or in the church?
Well, that's interesting because, now that our country's become more and more secular, so it's not really religious oriented. You're not even allowed at places to put the Ten Commandments out as a code of ethics or a code of conduct anymore. Where do we get our values, As Christians, we believe in the commandments, but we also believe in what we call the natural law, that certain things are right or wrong according to the natural law. Even that's being questioned today. So yeah, it's a good question. What do we use as the basis of society's rules when everyone is kind of multicultural and have their own ideas of what's right and wrong? Tilde mores, things that used to be seen as something that was wrong, 30 years later might be seen as okay. It kind of changes with the society. So.
It's very interesting. Okay, thank you for talking.
All right, good. All right, thank you.
But talking to the priest was not enough. We had to get an international view on censorship from German exchange student Lucas.
This is Lucas. He's from Germany. He's my German exchange student. So, Lucas, what kind of things are censored in Germany?
Well, you know about this Muhammad video, like 1 or 2 months ago. They didn't show that in Germany, but in general, they show a lot. So also nudity in TV.
Is nudity and sex taken seriously? Is it?
Well, as already
offensively?
said, they sometimes show nudity in TV. Not in all channels, but in some, late in the evening.
Okay. Do you know if government filters what you can read or hear?
So just like really, really offensive things are censored in Germany. So like this Muhammad video and pro-Nazism.
And do you think they should?
Well, I think you should censor really, really offensive things, but you shouldn't give the government too much influence on that. So self-censorship should be, or is a possibility, and also that parents decide for their children what is good for them and not.
Rip-offs. I mean, the American government is one systematic government that nobody can trust. I don't trust them myself.
All right, here we are, Total Hockey. We're gonna pull in and talk to my colleague Mike Kellum, aka Squirrel. He says he's got something to say about this censorship stuff. So see if he has a minute here to give us a piece of his mind. All right, so here we are. We're gonna be interviewing Mike Kellum. First off, Mike. What is your view on censorship?
I don't think there's a need for it. I don't think we need it. I mean, the people, who censor things are, are the ones who can, tell you what you can and can't read. And, if you can tell someone they can see and read, then, you can tell them anything and, they'll believe it. So I don't think there's a need for it.
Yeah, completely. The way the government can control you, and it's just not right. Now, Pumped Up Kicks is a song by Foster the People. It was aired on MTV last year, and it was censored because it's a song about a bullied child who acquires a gun and goes out to take revenge on the kids who bullied him. Now, that was censored. What's your thoughts about a song with deep meaning like that being censored on something like MTV?
Well, I don't think it needs to be. I mean, they have, just as equally bad or, worse things on the channel, if you ask me, like glorifying, like, being 16 and getting pregnant, and, Jersey Shore, need I say more? I don't think that one's worse than the other, but they would kind of censor the little guy, like in the music video. I don't know.
Yeah, it just doesn't make sense. Do you think that's an attempt for MTV to kind of put down alternative rock culture and promote MTV sensationalized Jersey Shore type culture?
Yeah, because that's what gets some ratings. So
yeah, exactly. Yeah, censor that to get the ratings. Yeah, exactly. Give the government the ability to block certain websites. Now, do you think the government should be able to do this? And what's their motive behind it?
No, I don't think the government is anything to say what you see or read on the internet. It was created so everyone, can enjoy it, post whatever you want on there. I don't think they have the right or authority, even if they're the government, to say, what you
are today. We're going to be interviewing a librarian at the Roselle Library to talk about censorship. Okay. Well, today we are here with Roselle librarian Marcia. Thank you for taking time out of your day to be with us today.
I'm happy to do it.
Let's dive right into it then. Cool.
Usually books are challenged in library settings. That means a patron or an outside organization is questioning the validity of having something in the library. Usually things are challenged but are not censored in libraries.
Do you think there should be standards?
I think that each community is different with, if you're looking, for books that appeal to the standard population, there is no one standard. Each person's ideas and thoughts, unless they are illegal, are considered valid.
Now that the show is over and we have jointly exercised our constitutional rights, we would like to leave you with one very important thought. Sometime in the future, you may have the opportunity to serve as a juror in a censorship case or a so-called obscenity case. It would be wise to remember that the same people who stop you from listening to Boards of Canada may be back next year to complain about a book or even a TV program. If you could be told what you can see or read, then it follows that you can be told what to say or think. Defend your constitutionally protected rights. No one else will do it for you. Thank you.
Circle around the park, joining hands in silence. Watch the evil black the sky. The storm has ripped the shelter of illusion from our brow.